Hello and welcome. If you've ever found yourself just grinding through all those manual steps to set up a new ABAP development environment on SAP BTP, clicking screen after screen, well, this one's for you. Today, we're going to talk about how to completely streamline that whole process, turning what feels like a chore into a super simple, automated experience.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start by talking about that manual setup pain point. Then we'll introduce the solution. It's called the booster. We'll walk through exactly how it works, see what it's doing behind the scenes for you, and wrap up with the super important next steps you'll still need to take.
All right, first up, the manual setup challenge. Let's just all agree, it can be a real pain.
I mean, does this sound familiar? You need a new dev system, and suddenly you're staring down this huge checklist, right? You got to create a subaccount, then enable Cloud Foundry, create a space, configure all the entitlements, assign users. It's not only time-consuming, but it's so easy to make a small mistake somewhere along the way.
Okay, so to fight back against all that manual work, SAP BTP has this really cool purpose-built tool. It's your new automation assistant, the Booster.
So what exactly is a booster? The best way to think about it is like a smart wizard or an interactive setup assistant. It basically holds your hand through a series of steps, asks you all the right questions, and then, this is the best part, it just goes and does all of those tedious configuration tasks for you in the background.
Now this is really important. This is a critical warning, and it comes straight from the documentation. The booster is only for setting up your development systems. This is not for your production environment, not for your test or QA systems. It's specifically designed to quickly spin up dev environments. For anything else, you're going to have to stick to the manual process.
So, how does this smart assistant actually do its thing? Let's take a look and walk through the main stages of the Prepare an Account for ABAP Development Booster Wizard.
And really, it all boils down to this clean 5-step flow. It's super straightforward. You kick off the booster, you pick your scenario, you tweak the subaccount details and entitlements, add your team members, and finally, you configure the ABAP instance itself. Then you click Finish, and you're done.
Okay, so right at the beginning, you hit your first big decision point. Are you starting totally from scratch, where the booster will create a brand new subaccount for you? Or are you looking to drop this ABAP environment into a subaccount that you've already got set up? You get to choose.
Now, in the configuration step, the wizard is smart enough to suggest the essentials. For the ABAP environment, it's sized in these 16 gigabyte chunks. They call them compute units, for both the ABAP server and the HANA database underneath. And it also adds the web access for ABAP service, which is what lets you get to your ABAP Launchpad right from your browser.
And it's not just the basics. The wizard might also offer you a few optional services. You can add a quota for the Cloud Foundry runtime, if you plan on deploying other apps there. You can throw in SAP Build Workzone to act as a central entry point. Or you can add the SAP Business Application Studio if your devs are going to be building UIs. The key here is that they're all optional. Add them now or add them later.
And here's another pro tip that'll save you a major headache. Listen up. If you do decide to select the SAP Build Workzone service, you absolutely cannot use the default SAP ID service as your identity provider. You have to use a custom one that you've already configured. If you forget this, the subscription to Workzone is just gonna fail.
Okay, this next step is a huge time saver. Instead of having to go back and manually assign roles after everything is set up, you can add your admins and your developers right here in the wizard. Just pop in their email addresses. This means your team gets access the very second that the environment is ready to go.
So you've answered all the wizard's questions, you've clicked that Finish button, so what do you actually get? What's the end result? Well, this is the big payoff.
Just look at this list. The booster has gone and created your Cloud Foundry subaccount, your org, your space. It's created the actual ABAP service instance. It's distributed the quotas you picked, configured your identity provider, handled all the service subscriptions, and assigned the basic roles to all the users you listed. I mean, that is a massive amount of manual work just gone.
So now, the environment is up and running, which is fantastic. But it's really important to have a quick reality check and understand what the booster doesn't do. So let's talk about what comes next for you.
The best way to think about it is like this. The booster is an amazing accelerator. It builds the house for you. It lays the foundation, puts up the walls, gets the roof on, but it's not the end of the story. It's now your turn to come in and furnish it. You still need to perform the other initial setup tasks, fine-tune all the permissions, and follow the documentation to get the system fully ready for what you need it to do. So the next time you need a new ABAP development system, the real question isn't whether you can do it all manually, but why would you want to? The booster is sitting right there, ready to take care of that first hour or maybe even more of setup, letting you and your team get to the actual fun part, the developing, way, way faster.